Good morning to all of you. I am Wendy A. Regala from BPE 1A. For today, we will tackle cardiovascular system in psychology. So, what is cardiovascular system? Cardiovascular system is sometimes called the blood vascular or simply the circulatory system. It consists of the heart, which is muscular pumping device, and closed system of vessels called arteries, veins, and capillaries. So, first, we will tackle what is cardiovascular system. Ang cardiovascular system ay binubuo ito ng puso na kung saan ay isang muscular pumping device at isang saradong sistema ang mga sisidlan na tinatawag na mga artery, mga ugat at capillary. Ito ang sistema, proseso ng paghahatid ng masustansyang oxygen sa iba't ibang bahagi ng ating katawan. Ang psychology ay pag-aaral ng galaw at tungkulin ng bawat bahagi ng pangangatawan. So, when a heart starts beating, the heart of an embryo start to beat from around 5 to 6 weeks of pregnancy. Also, it may be possible to see the first visible sign of the embryo known as fetal pole at this stage. So, when was a heart start beating? Ang puso ng isang embryo ay nagsisimulang tumibok kapag 5 to 6 weeks na ang pagbubuntis. Gayon din, maaaring posible na makita ang unang nakikitang tanda ng embryo na kilala bilang fetal pole sa kanyang yugtong ito. So, let's talk about two types of blood vessels. First is veins. Veins are vessels of the circulatory system that support circulation by conveying blood to the heart. Blood flowing through the circulatory system transport nutrients, oxygen, and water to the cell throughout the body. So, pag-uusapan naman natin ang two types of blood vessels. Una ay ang veins. Ang mga ugat ay sidlan ng sistema ng sirkulasyon sa pamamagitan ng paghahatid ng dugo sa puso. Ang dugo na dumadaloy sa pamamagitan ng sistema ng sirkulasyon ay nagdadala ng mga sustansyang oxygen at tubig sa mga cells sa buong katawan. Next is artery. Delivered oxygen-rich blood from the heart to the tissues of the body. Each artery is a muscular tube lined by smooth tissue and has 3 layers. The intima. The inner layer lined is smooth tissues called endothelium. Ang susunod naman ay ang artery. Ang artery ay naghahatid ng dugo na mayaman sa oxygen mula sa puso patungo sa mga tissue ng katawan. Ang bawat artery ay isang muscular tube na may linya sa pamamagitan ng makinis na tissue at may 3 mga layer. Ang intima, ang panloob na layer na may linya na isang makinis na tissue na tinatawag na endothelium. Next. So, let's talk about 4 chambers of the heart. First is right atrium. The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the superior and interior vena cavae and from coronary veins. Right atrium. Ito naman yung nakaka-receive ng deoxygenated blood na galing sa superior at inferior vena cavae na galing sa coronary veins. Next is left atrium. One of the 4 chambers of the heart, the left atrium receives blood full of body from the lungs and then empties the blood into the left ventricle. Left atrium ay ang nakaka-receive ng blood full of oxygen na galing sa lungs and then empties the blood into the left ventricle. Next. So, next is right ventricle. Right ventricle or RV is the most anterior of the heart of the four heart chambers. Right ventricle, it receives the oxygenated blood from the right atrium and pumps it into the pulmonary circulation. During this stable blood enters the right ventricle through the atrioventricular office through an often tricuspid valve. During the cytole, blood is ejected through the open pulmonary valve or PV into the pulmonary trunk. Next is left ventricle. The left ventricle is the one of the chambers of the heart. The left ventricle is located in the bottom left portion of the heart, below the left atrium separated by the mitral valve. The left ventricle is the thickest of the heart chambers and is responsible for pumping oxygenated blood to tissues all over the body. By contrast, the right ventricle solely pumps blood to the lungs. So, yun yung mga image ng type of blood vessels. Yan, yung capillary, tunica interna, tunica media, tunica intima, lumen, vein, and artery. Yan po yung artery and yun yung vein. Next. Yan naman po yung four chambers of the heart. This is the tricuspid valve, and right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle, atrial septum, mitral valve, and ventricular septum. Next. Let's talk about cardiovascular react during exercise. Not getting enough physical activity can lead to heart disease even for people who have no other risk factors. It can also increase the likelihood of developing other heart disease. Risk factors including obesity, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes. Dahil sa exercise, pinapabilis nito ang pagtibok ng ating puso o ang pag-pump nito during exercise. Dahil dito, mas gumaganda ang pagdaloy ng ating dugo o ang blood circulation. Next. So, here are the benefits of exercise to the cardiovascular system. First is lower blood pressure. Next, improve blood flow. Next is improve workout efficiency. Next, lower cholesterol. Next is decrease risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Next, promote other heart healthy habits. Next, reduce the incidence of heart arrhythmia like atrial fibrillation. Next. So, thank you for listening, everyone. Again, I am Wendy Regala from BPE 1A.